It's April 20th, 6 p.m. This is the Parks and Rec Advisory meeting. We have a quorum. We don't have minutes. It's our first televised meeting since, I want to say, last fall. So those minutes we've looked them over at previous workshops. Kind of a limited agenda tonight. Old business, I want to touch on some things, and staff, if you want to add to or take from, or we worked pretty hard for about a year and a half on the farmers market. It's something as right now that the board has chosen to not go with at this point in time. Doesn't mean that it is a dead item. I think there are some other options that we are looking into. So it's my suggestion to everyone that we continue, and what we want to do is put out quality. It's going to be very difficult to start a farmer's market in July or August. So I'd like to keep it out there and keep it as part of our discussion at our workshops and so on. And staff, do you have anything new on that as far as the farmers market?
The latest I heard was it was a proposal to get in a partnership with the library. Of course, that would have to go back before the council and then also before the library board to use their property over there to staff that farmers market.
And my understanding is that that's something that happens across the state with other libraries and so on. And the library board meets May 11th, and Board of Mayor and Alderman will meet the first week of May. So again, this is something that I think would be a good idea. I guess just getting it right. I know a lot of the residents have asked for it. So again, thank you for all your work, and we'll keep everyone updated on where we are with that. Does anyone have any comments about the farmers market at this point in time?
Not to give up on it, we just move forward.
I agree.
I agree with Bob completely. You know, all the progressive cities are bringing these farmers markets in, and boy, that really isn't material in this context. I don't know who to look at, so I don't know if that's material in this context. If you do the research about it, the stuff coming off the farms is cleaner, it's fresher, it's healthier than anything you're getting at the grocery store, and it's often less expensive. So it's really about helping the citizens in our community, particularly the people in our community who make less money, because they'll be able to buy healthier food at a cheaper price. And the one thing that I had to grow accustomed to, because I really have been buying directly from the farmers for about 6 or 7 years, is I learned to eat what's coming off the farm. And it really isn't that hard. And the fresh produce really tastes different than what's coming out of the grocery store. And I wouldn't sleep tonight if I didn't say this. The chemicals that they're putting on the food that's being sold commercially are dangerous. And there's a bunch of chemicals on it when they grow it. They spray it before they move it so it won't ripen. And then they spray it again so that it will ripen. And if we truly care about the citizens in our community, particularly the citizens in our community who make less money, the farmers market, there isn't a choice about it. It's a matter of getting it out here as quickly as possible so that our poorest constituencies can get to healthy food. It'll change their health, it'll change the way they feel. So.
And again, I don't think anyone debated that aspect of it. You're absolutely right in everything you said. I think it was trying to tweak it with our ordinances and find a proper home. So again, let's hope these options work out right now.
Now, Tom, my understanding was if it was done through the library, that they would actually be able to do it in the evening, which would, I think, is wonderful, because I couldn't have went personally.
Sure.
If it was during the day, most of the people I know and that live around me, we're all hardworking parents. And that will give me the opportunity, if I can go to the library, that's a 2-for-1 too. I'm right there at the library and take the kids in, do their thing, get the community more involved with the library as well. I think it's a win-win. I really hope that works out.
I agree. And
agree.
What at this point in time, and I've said this to both AC and to Donna, who are our parks and our library director, is no pressure on you right now. Although it seems like there is with a couple weeks, but if we can't pull it together by June 1st, let's kind of table it and tweak it and make it right. So when we hit next spring. So, but I agree. Again, coupling and at nighttime, I've seen farmers market go early mornings, mid-afternoons, and nights. So again, people are coming right home on Murfreesboro Road. It would work out well. So anything further from anyone as far as that goes? Deb, I know you had looked into some grant money and so on, so.
There's still plenty of grant money that's available for farmer markets. Now that would not help this year in the funding stream, but look in the future. So I'm seeing a lot more available funds coming back into the.
And that's one of the benefits. First of all, it has to be up and running for you to
Yes.
apply.
Yes.
But, you know, with it being on city property, and a lot of things that I've read, they're actually pushing, the state is pushing counties and cities to actually host these farmers markets. They want to couple with the local municipalities. So it would be a benefit to the city. I think Murfreesboro just got, what, 3 million about 10 days ago for theirs.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, definitely a benefit to, I think it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Let's keep working on it then. We'll jump into new business, another one of our projects. And just so everyone knows how it works, we try to pick out a couple projects. It's something we look at, we like to see coming, moving forward. Some could be just events, some could be, again, the farmer's market took a little bit of homework and research. This next one is something that really, since I've been in Laverne, I've heard people call for is a Veterans Memorial Wall, or something to give back to our veterans at the park. What our board did was basically say, you know, let's look into a wall or flagpoles and so on. And we give each one of these projects we'll give to one or a couple people and say, you know, kind of head this up. So Jason Cole headed up the farmers market. Candace Bounds, Deb here is kind of heading up our Veterans Memorial Wall. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to you now and kind of give us a little update on what you found.
Okay, I've actually been working with 3 different companies on the bricks, and there's one out of Florida that I like the best so far. The blessing to them is they will start us a web page. If people can make it to an event in order to order a brick or contact me or whoever, they can go online and do their ordering and have it exactly how they want it. Turnaround time's 2 to 3 weeks. I did let them know if we have an event, can we get it faster? And they said yes. They run about $19 a brick. That is your inscription and everything. I will have a sample by the next meeting. They will set up, there's no fee involved with it either. There's no fee involved with the setup of the website. I have a whole packet on it. I apologize I didn't bring it. But I'll make sure that all of you guys get a copy of it. So far, they have just been bent over backwards to call and talk to me when I can. Now, the flagpoles, I know we have some information that was collected, which is wonderful, and I will definitely look over it. I did choose to deal with a local company when I dealt with it, and it's Haynes Flags, and they're out in Murfreesboro. On average, and this is where we have to talk about what we want there, commercial pole, 30 feet, she said, is what you normally want to do. They range from $629 to $1,495. I still think that, and I've actually talked to some business members already, they are willing to contribute and help us with that to keep the cost down to the city, because that's my whole goal, is get it out there, get the community involved, and not put a lot on our taxpayers. They also do all of our flags, and we need to decide whether we want 3 flags, 5 flags, whatever. But on the cost, and I'm not sure with this company, and I will contact them, they're willing to work with us and come into the community and actually look at it and look at what our weather patterns have been around here and tell us, okay, this is exactly what you need because of the winds. The poles that they have in Murfreesboro, which I'll bring pictures of, they've withstood 2 tornadoes with limited damage. And like I said, they're local. And I like to stay local if you guys agree with that. I mean,
Do they manufacture locally?
they are out of Wisconsin. They're all American made.
Okay, good.
Everything they do is American made, which I loved.
I agree.
Their flags are about $59 upwards to $90, depending on what we want to go with and what we'll tear up. But I'm just in beginning stages of working with her. But the pad we were talking about, they can't be put in that. They go 3 feet in the ground. You can get a fencing company, or actually I have a company that I'm going to be speaking to see if maybe I can get a cut on that. They go 3 feet in the ground. They come with the casing, shipping's included, taxes included, everything with their cost. So I will definitely look at the information given to me. Thank you for that. I will say though, I like these people. I mean, as far as dealing with them, I love that it's local.
I'm looking forward to seeing the samples. The existing pad we have out there, are we going to keep that for, again, I know in the past we've talked about whether it's been a fighter jet or a tank or a helicopter, or are we going to use that existing pad?
Well, I think that had been talked about before. I think there's two reasons. It's hard getting that kind of stuff. And then how much upkeep is it gonna be at that spot since it's a high visibility spot?
Sure.
I don't, and one time they talked about putting the wall where the fence is, but I don't know, maybe we could use that pad as the base for the wall. Instead of building the wall like the fence out front, centrally locate that wall and kind of build it around and up and maybe taper down and maybe leave the back open or something.
Okay.
I love that.
Maybe we
idea.
could put a plaque inside, like you access it from the back and put a plaque inside.
I like that.
I think, again, this is where we have to do, and if we learn anything, although, again, some of the reason, I'm going to jump back to farmers market, that we had the problem was the weather that we didn't meet, and then it got back to the board, and time kind of got away from us. But if we can learn a lesson from that, let's make sure we get all our ideas together, what we want to do, or maybe a variety of ideas, and then we can then present that to the board. I think, Deb, you also have done some research as well as far as whether it be architecture or as far as that goes. So,
Yes, the past week I've been doing some research on a funding stream flow to help offset the cost, so the burden's not just on the city and the taxpayers. Now, what I'm running into is there's not, I have looked all over, I cannot find any type of funding stream. So I've looked at different models in different municipalities across the United States to kind of give us a general idea. So I've got examples, and I feel this is something that we need to discuss in a workshop, to sit down and look at different examples of models of how they're utilizing this in different municipalities. And I've came across a lot of different creative ideas of how they're financing, either through in-kind donations, sponsorships, selling those bricks. And Candace just said something about the company you talked to could sell those bricks online. Yes. That's another way that I've seen one municipality do that. So I really like that. So say, for example, I lived in Michigan and I have a loved one that was here in Laverne, Tennessee, and I want to purchase a brick. I had the option to do that online on the municipal website. I really liked that. But the one concern I had in looking at this, there's so many different ways about going about doing the wall that we need to think, all right, this is 2015, but we need to look at the future. Where's this wall gonna, what's the design or the plan 20 years or 50 years from now? How can we grow this wall? So that's something we need to think about in the financing, and I think then we'd have to incur costs as far as architectural firm to look at or engineering firm to look at the design things. So I think there's some hidden costs in the planning that we need to look at, and where do we want to go with that?
Steph, you put together kind of the same thing that Candace was talking about. Is there anything you want to add to or take from as far as that?
No, anything we do up there, like when we do the flags, it's gonna have to be lit. I know the solar lights are a good option. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with them, so I don't know how well that's gonna light up at night.
Now, that was one area that I'm pretty confident you could receive funding for, is for the solar lighting option.
And there is power, there's a pole there, so getting a permanent electric up there, that may be costly. And Kathy kind of brought up a good point. I don't know if we get ready to do all of this, if it's gonna all have to be bid out, because it's gonna get to that point where it's gonna, everything's gonna cost more in the long run than you initially think it's gonna cost. So are we gonna have to bid this whole thing out as one project? The wall, the flagpoles, the power? So I don't know if this would have to go before the board and then okay that to move forward.
I think I would say absolutely. I would say it would be yes. It would have to be bid out. What I want to do, as far as again this Parks and Rec advisory and staff, is just to basically get something to take in front of the mayor and aldermen, and then from there we'll go into that process. But you know, there's been a lot of ideas, and I guarantee if we ask each of us, we may all come up with a different idea of what we thought would work at the park. But let's look at all the options, maybe some other cities, the funding, everything, and then present that and go from there. Look, I think if you talked about to the future, if we can just get something up and running, I'd love to see something, if it's just the flagpoles by this Veterans Day. We spoke about this at the workshop, but when we've had the Veterans Day here, the veterans are so appreciative of what we're doing and just the 20, 30 minute just recognizing them. This is something that needs to happen. If we start small right now and each year we grow, that's I would like to at least see that. I don't want this to spin for a year or so and not happen for them. That's just my thoughts, and so if we can get everything together, and again, just continue the dialogue, it would be great. Kathy, what about advertising on our website? That's something we could probably do as far as once we get this.
Absolutely. If it's a project for the city, we can put it on the website, Facebook, any of our social media. We can create our own Facebook page or whatever for that matter, and link back to whoever is ultimately picked.
Yeah, they
And
set
I
up their
will
own
say
URL.
that $500 or $600 that you're talking about is still far less than any other quote or anything we've ever heard about previously. So I think
They
even
were
if it was
willing to
bid
work
out, there'd be a
with us.
really good chance of it getting approved.
Oh, they said they would come in the lady that I talked to, she said, you know, if we need to come down and show a presentation to whoever, they'll be glad to do that, so.
That's an exceptional price.
Maybe one of our upcoming workshops, they can present it to us, and then again, we can kind of nail down what we want to do, and then we'll either have them or we'll take it in one of the council meetings. But I think it's a great idea. It's long overdue. So let's do what we can and keep this project going. But,
So, yeah, I have a question. It was a really good point. Is it bid out as one project or is it the pieces? And it seems as though we're talking pieces up here, going to different vendors. So it seems that at some point we need to be really clear about, because I haven't intellectualized hearing it all in one bucket yet. So we just have to be sure that we're mindful about, at some point we really got to decide pieces or not.
absolutely. And I think what you're saying is true. Right now, it's just getting the pieces together. We brought it to the retreat in January, February, and everyone on the board seemed, and the city seemed for it. But again, it's finalizing what we want, or at least maybe narrowing it down to a couple options and then deciding. But again, engineering fees, architecture fees probably would be us. I doubt that you could probably put that into one bucket, but you know, we'll see. We'll see where we're at once we get everything together.
Because right now, to be honest, it sounds more logical in pieces. But then you got the problem of making sure that all the pieces come together. Because then you have different vendors you have to make play nice. So, I mean, I don't know the answers. I just, all of a sudden, I see two different roads.
Scheduling though, because we kind of do that already in my dad's business. And it really is. I mean, we're contractors, so that's what it is. It's a scheduling issue, and I'm sure
Right.
AC would be great with that and, you know,
Right.
making
If you
sure.
could get the flagpoles up, that would be the main thing, and then you can just build from there. You know,
That's
your
what I
time
was
frame is
thinking.
not as strict once the flagpoles are up.
That was my thought pattern too.
Do you have something else to
I just wanted to say though, in the placement, you need to have some thought put in the process of what are we going to build there so that you have the space and we don't have to remove the flagpoles, things like that. So I'm just, that was my only concern in the planning, that we think that out and in the process. So, and I don't know if that would entail having an engineering or architecture firm. So it's just some things to think about.
Yeah, and when we get that far, it's probably best to get somebody to come out to tour it or take a look at what we have up there. Because if they do that on a regular basis, then we can sit here and talk all day and they'll come in and what ideas we think may be good, they'll throw something totally different out there.
So it sounds as though flagpoles and solar grant money seem to be the first venture out, and then some sort of commitment that we're not going to go moving stuff around, because that always creates problems. So actually, that sounds like a pretty good plan.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But people need to be intellectual about that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I think that's what Deb's saying, just basically a long-term design, even if we do it in pieces. So,
No comment. Do you think you can get the people to come to our workshop next month?
I can definitely call her. I'm in contact with her, and I'm supposed to email her this week, so she's waiting to hear from me. They're only there 3 days a week, so I have to kind of catch her, but I will email her tomorrow, and I should hear back from her by Thursday.
Okay.
So these are the Murfreesboro flag people, not the Florida brick people.
No, these
Okay,
are the
got it.
Murfreesboro flag people.
Yeah.
And, yeah, now, I know there's other corporations all over the place. I don't know, I'm a local. I like
No,
to
I
deal with
agree.
locals if I can help it, you know? And then if we have a problem too, I'm not calling a 1-800 number. I'm driving down the road and saying, hey, there's an issue. Why is this issue? So,
That's what people,
mhm.
yeah. Give
Well-
them a good wage.
thank you for the initial homework on it. I know it's going to take a little bit more, everyone
thank
that's
you both.
involved, but let's keep the discussion up. And again, as you said, if it's just something small, but a little at a time, let's get this done. I put something for number 2 under new business, Hurricane Creek Greenway. All we're waiting for now, I believe, is the notice to proceed coming from the state, and that could be any day. We have until, what, is it September of this year to actually put shovels in the ground and get the construction going, and it has to be completed within a year. I'm pretty certain that that's
I was thinking September or October, but I don't know.
yeah, I know it's early fall. We have to be up in the construction phase. But really, we've done everything we needed to do right now. But I wanted to bring this out because something we've talked about on this board. Again, this is the part of the greenway that will actually start right behind the library here, run down along near Streetman, and then down by the roundabout. Again, the ultimate goal, or you hope that eventually this would run all along the lake and then back up all the way down to, down Lake Forest and back up to, was it Pool Knob and out that way. But again, this is a big connection, and it's been something we've had grant money since 1999. It is a 80-20 match. I think our match is over $300,000. I think it's $1.8 million that we're getting for this. But again, wanted to give you an update that it is, we are very close, and really any day we could get that notice to proceed from the state. And that's basically just an approval of the site plan, the design, and so on. But again, wanted to bring it out to the board and let you know good things are happening as far as that goes. So,
Yeah, on the 25th, we're invited to go down there and clean that up.
that's
Are
what
you
it
aware
is.
of that? Anybody in the public was
Oh, yeah, it's on the
invited?
sign. Yeah,
Now,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna cook
anybody on
hot dogs
Riversboro
too
Road.
for you, so come
I was
on.
gonna ask you what you were
Win-win.
cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the sign. I see it every morning when I head into work, so it's on the sign.
yeah.
So September will be here in a blink of an eye, and we had an incident in the past before this current board was running stuff where we almost lost a gigantic grant. And there's all this like penalty stuff when you do that. So we have something in place to make sure the state doesn't show up timely, that we can make sure they understand how close we are to cresting.
Well, we have a very good engineer to start with, and Kyle.
Oh, that's true. So
and-
Kyle does it? Okay, never
Yeah,
mind. We're
and
okay.
he's on top of it.
Yeah, we're good.
Again, everything is, all the city's end of it is covered. We're just waiting on the state. And I think we've, again, he believes it's any day that he will be receiving
Good.
this notice. So yeah, I agree. And if we lost this, it wouldn't be good. We wouldn't get the grant money back again. And it's going to be something that's going to be nice for the residents. I'm getting a lot of feedback from residents at the Brook Ridge Greenway, and even though that's a little over a quarter mile long, they're loving it. And I've heard 4 or 5 comments in the last week or so just how much they enjoy it. So, and I was over there, I took a walk with one of the residents. Y'all are doing a great job. I mean, as far as upkeeping of that, and that's what, 2.5 years old now, and it still looks brand new. So.
Actually, I think it's a little older than that. I
2,
know
3 years
I
old.
raised a bunch of cane about it because the greenway is actually supposed to be, as you said a couple minutes ago, I mean, really, the focus is to be around the water. So we won't go back and rehash all that old history because I'd make this meeting last way too long.
I'm talking
But
about the
I
actual
should say-
construction of that one. It's about
Right.
2, 3 years old.
Okay, good, yeah. So we won't get into all the history on that, but let's hope in the future that the greenway actually pays attention to what it's supposed to be about, because that's really what is supposed to happen for the people in the city, right? And that's really what it's all about. But I do have to say I'm going to be an honest person, and I so wish I didn't have to be an honest person. I have actually met someone who lives over there, grew up over there. her mother still lives over there, you know, her parents, and she drops her little kids off over there. And they walk into the problem we had with where you go out into the neighborhood, not where you come in over the.
Come over the parking
with
spots
the
are.
yeah, the problem where we had to have somebody move their fence.
Mhm.
That's exactly how they come in. And she says that her kids love it.
That's good.
Yeah, so it may not really fit the definition legally of what a greenway is supposed to be. You're right, the people over there are getting a benefit out of it. So that's a good end.
Again, wanted to bring that up to y'all, and again, we'll have an update as this moves along. Guys, really, it's down to the last, kind of a small agenda, but staff comments, kind of a council report, what's been happening. You've had opening day, you've had.
We had opening day 2 Saturdays ago, is that right? That went off pretty good. I think it's the first one we've actually been able to have in 2 years due to the weather and the city taking over the league. Vanderbilt, Commodore's mascot came out. I think it was Newshound 5. Had about 500 kids, I believe. So that turned out well. Also want to hit on the egg hunt, which was probably one of the biggest we've had. I think it got so large that we're going to have to look at trying to do something different next year. Instead of maybe confining it all to the football field. You have so many kids out there with their parents that having all those age groups in one spot gets a little chaotic. So I think we may try to split it up, football field and use 2 at the baseball fields. Put the smaller kids on the baseball field with their parents. That way they can come in one gate and leave the other. So there's several different options there we're going to look at. Julie is still working on Old Timers Day entertainment.
Those forms, those applications are available now as well on our website. And summer camp's coming up too. If anybody's interested, we'll open up registration May 8th. So that will be up and running soon.
And the only other thing that I want to hit on is our park staff, within the course of probably a week, installed 4 new drinking fountains in the park. So it's the first time that I can remember that all 4 fountains are actually functional. Which you don't think that is really a big deal until you're up there hot and you're looking for it. When something's working, you don't notice it, but when it's not working, that's when everything comes alive. So I just want to mention those guys because they really worked hard to get that installed. And I don't know, am I missing anything? I think
Not that I can think of, Ms. Tasha.
Julie, when you talked about the summer camp,
Yes, sir.
793-3224 is one way to contact y'all.
Yes, sir.
Can you also do that online? As far as
We don't have registration online, but they can definitely call the
Okay.
793-3224 Parks office number and we'll get them set up.
Okay, very good.
And Julie, what will be the hours available for the summer camp?
Normal hours are 8 to 4:30. There is an option of before care from 7 to 8 and after care from 4:30 to 5:30. Lunch is provided. We're doing it at Roy Waldron School again this year. Lunch will be provided. And for the early campers, we do have breakfast, the ones that do attend before care. So May 8th, we open it up.
And I just want to echo what you said. It isn't just the water fountains and whatever. You guys are all over the city, all the parks, different maintenance issues. So I want to extend again a thank you to you all, and just you don't hear it a lot, but you know, job well done. You're out there at 100-degree days or 10-degree days, but again, thank you, and you got a great staff. And just wanted to say that.
It's a good group of guys. It'd be hard to get by without any one of them. So, I did want to hit on a couple more things that I remembered. We're trying to kick around the idea of maybe music in the park and movies in the park. We hadn't really got that nailed down to any dates yet, but that's not something we forgot about. We're still discussing that every day.
Good deal. Especially movies in the park was very successful. So, and I think, again, given the right circumstances, music in the park could be. It's just getting it advertised and maybe finding the right home for it, whether, again, it's up towards the front, here at Bicentennial Park, whatever. But again, we'll kick that around at our workshops and see where we go with that.
But that's just like any other event in the city. You know, they start small, sometimes they seem to flounder, but once these things kick off, I mean, look at the egg hunt situation, I mean, Alzheimer's Day. So, you know, once we really keep doing that, you know, the people will come, and it will. It'll grow to be so big, you'll
I
have to
agree.
be figuring out where to put it next.
I agree. One more thing about the old timers. Any feedback? It's been about 10 days since we voted. Any feedback? I think it was Phil Vassar that we all were trying to get as far as to come in here on Old Timers Festival. Have you heard anything back from that?
We should hear an offer if he accepts our offer. Maybe this week we'll hear something back.
All right. Guys, I'll open up to any comments.
I just want to let the citizens of Laverne know that we got the best Parks and Recreation people, bar none, in Tennessee. They do a wonderful job in our parks. They're working all the time, and they got a little crew, and they do such a great job. And their heads are getting big, and they have to get bigger because you guys deserve every bit. If you don't get compliments, you get a lot from me because I see you guys do a good job, all of you. And Kathy, she just is greater than anyone else. She's always on the up and up on bringing people up on the tube and everything about. She does a good job in writing. So we're very proud of all of you. I am anyway. You all do a good job.
Dip?
Oh, I just wanted to say I was not able to go to the egg hunt. We tried, but there was so much congestion parking, and I think because there was a tournament going on that day. So I did miss that event, but it looked like it was a huge success. But I did have the opportunity to go to the Laverne Youth Baseball and Softball opening day, and there were so many people there that I didn't know that Alderman Broker and Mr. Bob and several others were there. I seen a couple. I did see Mayor Waldron there at the event, and I thought it was a very successful event. I was amazed at the amount of children in the program and all the families out there, but I thought it was a very successful day, and just wanted to thank everyone for all their efforts and hard work. And
We were yelling at
So
Bob,
this
weren't
is
we?
your first year up there. It's every year like that.
That was my first year.
There's 500, right? 500 kids sign up for, you know, and that's a little down from previous years when Tom over there, he had it. How long? We've had.
We topped out somewhere about 1,000, but
Yeah.
again, they're doing a great job, and I agree that day was remarkable. I love the fact that Vanderbilt came, brought their little mascot. You had News Hound out there. It was just a whole lot of community support. I thought it went pretty well. So. But we were yelling at you, trying to get your attention.
I did not see,
Weren't we, Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
but it was a very nice event.
It was. Nice weather, too.
Yeah, very nice weather.
Candace?
Just basically, if you have any ideas about this Veterans Wall or you want to change something, please come to one of our meetings, let us know. I mean, I want to hear it. I definitely want to hear something that the community wants and what they're interested in, or they might have a whole different take than any of us have. So please bring it forward. We'd love to hear it.
So if people can't make it to the meeting, is there another way they can communicate with you?
Well, I'm okay with putting my email address out there. They're welcome to contact me. I can give it to Kathy. I don't know, Kathy, can you add it to like where my name is on the site or not? I don't know.
Probably, or, you know, the other option is to have them call Parks and Rec and they can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good idea. So 793-3224?
Yep.
And ask for the contact data for Candace?
Yeah, I would be glad to talk to anybody. Thank you for thinking of that.
Oh, sure. So sometimes they can't make it to the meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Good
barely
for
make
you.
it, so.
So I'm just going to echo what everybody said about all your hard work. I had the opportunity to spend some time with these people last summer, and they really like each other. I mean, they really like each other, and they play around, and I think it's a very different work environment. So it's really
It's a
nice.
good
I hope
bunch.
it stays that way for decades to come. And thank you, Tom Broker, for all your hard work.
Well, thank you. And there's a lot of passion. Again, the department, each board, We all just want what's best for the city. So, again, having said that, we will not meet next month, but we will meet in June.
Oh, okay. That gives you an
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
month.
I didn't want to,
Yeah, that gives me time.
but other than that, guys, I just want to thank you all. Again, thank you for the work on the farmer's market and the work that we're doing now on this new project. And again, we'll hopefully get some progress for the city. Having said that, the guys and the staff has anything else? Nope, we're good.
So our next meeting is a workshop.
It's
in-
it's going to be televised, June 15th.
Okay.
Yes, 6 p.m. So, having said that, we will adjourn. Thank you all.